Okay, so we're going to use the Pythagorean theorem, and the Pythagorean theorem is for right triangles. I usually draw my right triangle like this, and if I label it A, B, C, C is called the hypotenuse. Anyway, the Pythagorean theorem says if you have a right triangle like that, then A squared plus B squared equals C squared. And so we're going to use that formula in this problem. All right. It says the sun casts a shadow from a flagpole. Okay, so here's a flagpole, and then here's the shadow of the flagpole. Okay, and the sun is beating down. Here's the sun beating down on the flagpole. All right, the height of the flagpole is 3 times the length of its shadow. So let's say this is the length of the shadow, x, and then the height is 3 times that. Well, my picture's not accurate, but that's okay. The height of the flagpole is 3 times the length of its shadow. Okay. The distance between the end of the shadow and the top of the pole, so the distance from the end of the shadow to the top of the pole is 20 feet. Find the length of the shadow and the length of the flagpole, round to the nearest tenth. Okay, so our right triangle is right there. We do have a right triangle. And so now we can use the Pythagorean theorem. So this is like my A, this is like my B, and this is going to be like my C. So remember, A squared plus B squared equals C squared. So it's the hypotenuse, or the long side, that is the one on the right, okay? The one that is by itself. Okay, so in this case, I'd have x squared plus, I need to put this in parentheses, 3x squared equals 20 squared. So I get x squared plus 9x squared equals 400. Okay, let's see, that's going to give me 10x squared equals 400. So if I divide both sides by 10, now how did I get that 10x squared? Well, I had to combine like terms. So then now I have x equals 40, and I can just use the square root property here, so I'm going to do that. Take the square root of both sides. Now you might be saying, you didn't put the plus or minus. And I didn't put the plus or minus because this is going to be a length, and so I'm not going to have the minus case this time. It's got to be a positive length. You also might be saying, hey, you didn't simplify the square root of 40. Nope, I'm not going to. I'm just going to put it in my calculator because if you remember, this problem said round to the nearest tenth. Okay, so I'm not going to simplify it. I'm just going to go to my calculator. I'm going to say, what's this calculator? What's the square root of 40? And it says x is approximately 6.3245. Okay, so it's going to be 6.3. Again, you look behind the 3 at the 2. It's not enough to make it round up. So to the nearest tenth, the shadow, this is the shadow, is 6.3 feet. And then the flagpole, well, the flagpole is going to be 3 times that. So 3 times 6.3, whatever that is, times 3. So, ooh, that is going to be, well, 18.9 feet. That'll be interesting to see, because if you don't round off, you get 19 instead of that. But it told us to round off. So, all right, there we go.